All right, this is Paige Garwood. I am going to begin looking at a piece of music written by William Byrd, who lived in the 1500s. He wrote a mass for four voices. Now, I've transcribed the first half of his Kyrie of that mass into violins because I'm in love with violins. Before we talk any further about him or this music, I'd like us to listen to it. So here we are. Let me turn it up here. All right, that was amazing. Isn't that beautiful? Mass for four voices. And this is about the first half of his Kyrie that I've transcribed out. Now, I've been reading a book by, let me get it here. A book on Palestrina, on the Pope Marcellus Mass, and it details a lot of his methodology. I'm reading another book on the technique of Palestrina, and based on that, I'm looking at William Byrd, starting to analyze his music. And I've started, as you can see here, I've labeled a couple themes. This William Byrd seems to have in this first part of this anyway, two themes that are working off of each other, and you can see I've outlined them out. I have a question on the A theme with the question mark on the first violin part up there in the fourth measure, but you can see that he starts off with an A theme, and let me see here, I'll see a second violin part. There we go. Sounds like this. I've identified that as the A theme. The B theme is first introduced in the first violin part. So let's listen to that guy. Okay. And then we introduce an A theme-ish, sort of, playing the A theme. Again, following right on the heels of the B theme, I think. That's where I'm at right now. So we introduce the A theme first, second violin. The B theme comes in the first violin. And then we reintroduce a version of the A theme on a fifth above. By the way, the B theme comes in a fifth above. The A theme is when it's reintroduced in the first violin it starts on an F. This is an F minor, by the way, and imitates it. The A theme when it's introduced in the viola part starts on a fifth, actually a fifth below, on middle C. And then when we come in again, the B theme is reintroduced in the second violin part, answering the viola A theme, answered by the violin B theme in measure 6. Also the A theme, which starts on C, is reintroduced by the cellos on tonic on F on measure 5. So you can see how these, really there's two themes he's working with here, an A theme and a B theme, and he just keeps weaving them in and out. And he starts, everybody's starting on beat 1 until we get to the new B theme in the second violin part on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 measure. And we come down here in the 7th measure. The B theme is introduced now, starting on beat 4. So it's just these different themes just keep weaving in and out of each other, and it's really, I find it very fascinating. Now, when he does it, he's written this thing so that when a new theme is introduced, it's like the interval between the first two voices, for instance, second measure, where the B theme comes in, is basically a third. The A theme has, in the second measure, the A note is the primary note. The first F and G are just color tones, passing tones, if you will. So that A and the C go against each other, and that's there's a third. It's very pleasant sounding. And when the third part, the viola, comes back in with the A theme, the minute it makes its entrance, there's a C and a G in the violin part, and then the second violin part, it's like a suspension which resolves to an E. So in essence, when the third part makes its entrance, there's a full chord, a full triad there on that note. All right, so we keep on moving on. Now, when the cello makes its entrance, we have an F, and in the viola, again, it's a suspension, B flat to an A, so this is an F and an A, and there's a C in the first violin. Again, when that third voice brings the A thing back, there's a full-on chord, a triad there. That's the one thing I see happening here. When the B theme is introduced in second violin, we're going to have a C in the cello, an A flat on the viola, and a C again on the violin 2, and we got passing tones that are heading up to the G. So basically, it's like an A flat C. It's an A flat triad there. So that's kind of interesting. That's very interesting. I like the way this thing is laid out. So if I were to take a principle from this, I'd say write a melody. Should be simple, right? Write a melody, a theme, so that when you introduce that same theme in another voice, or if you're introducing a B theme like he does here, make sure those first two notes are a third of, when that new theme comes in, are a real good, pretty consonant interval. Here, it's thirds almost always. And then he works everything up to a cadence of a final cadence ending on F. It's an F minor, and the chords previous to that is a C major, which is kind of cool. I like that. And he plays with the C major that throughout the entire, in fact, it's measure 7, 8, 9. Measure 9, it's it's like a C to an F to a C. We have, on the first beat of measure 9, you have an E in the bass of the cello, basically, or an E natural, with a G to an F, first beat, and then you have E, so it's an E natural, G natural, C natural. It's a C major chord, which just on beat 2 bounces to an F major chord, and then beats 3 and 4, we're back to C with a suspended 4-3 in the viola part, and finish out the triad, and then you just end up on an F major triad there, which I think is amazing.